Now, pothole compensation claims against councils across the UK have virtually doubled over the past 3 years. The RAC has released new figures showing there were more than 53,000 claims made in 2024. That's a rise of 90% on the number filed in 2021. Scott Dixon is a motoring disputes expert. Scott, good morning.
Good morning, Lucy.
Good morning. I'm imagining this is maybe not a surprise to you.
It's not a surprise at all. And the problem is, Lucy, councils have been underfunded for years, but a lot of the problems that are unspoken about is utility firms digging up the roads, usually after they've been resurfaced, and not reinstating the trenches properly. So what you find is the edges aren't sealed properly. Water gets in, it freezes, expands, and creates problems and more potholes. And councils are not consistently checking the work after it's been done and recharging the repairs back to the contractors. So taxpayers end up footing the bill for that as well.
And we're talking about claims against councils. How likely is it, if you have a claim, that you'll succeed in getting some money?
Well, according to the RAC figures that have been released overnight, you've roughly got a 21% success rate against that Glasgow City Council. So 1 in 5 succeed, 4 in 5 don't. And claims handlers work in cahoots with local authorities to decline as many claims as possible, and they use standard default responses to do so. And what you need to do is submit a freedom of information request to get the paperwork to reinforce your claim, because chances are you will fall at the first hurdle.
And you mentioned Glasgow City Council there. It's quite high up the list in terms of the UK and number of claims for 2024. They have got in touch with us to say that actually for the past year, for 2025, it seems like there's been a dramatic fall in people making compensation claims. So, I mean, I wonder what could be different between 24 and 25. I guess it's quite hard to tell, isn't it?
Motorists realise that it's very difficult to succeed with a claim, so chances are they just don't bother and pay for the damage to their own vehicles out of their own pockets, and it's simply unacceptable. Claims handlers make it as difficult as possible to succeed with claims, and what you find is there's been a risk inspection regime for many years, but more recently it's been watered down to benefit the local authorities. So years ago, it was a black and white decision with regards to whether a pothole, if it was a certain depth, it needed to be repaired. Whereas now, inspectors take in a variety of factors into account, not necessarily the depth. So one inspector sees as a pothole that needs to be repaired may differ to another. So that actually tells you that it's just not fit for purpose, the way things are. And when 4 out of 5 claims are being rejected, it's wrong. It's just totally unacceptable. And motorists need to push hard to get claims over the line. And what I say is, I mean, the first thing you need to do is report it as soon as possible, and take photos if possible, if it's safe to do so, and use a water bottle or something similar to measure the depth of it, because it's not the width of the pothole that matters, it's the depth that's crucial. And provide sketches with your claim, because you will be asked to pinpoint the pothole because there's that many on the road. Get estimates for repairs or a copy receipt for the damage, and submit a freedom of information request at the first point, and ask for 12 months of inspection records, and get temporary and permanent repair specification criteria, all reports received on defects for that road, and copies of work orders to identify how that pothole was repaired. And what you need to do is, it's a process of elimination to ascertain liability and pinpoint the council on that.
And you can see why, Scott, people might just not have the headspace or the time to do all of that and go forward with all of that.
It is difficult, but it's not impossible. And you can use Fix My Street or filldhathole.org. These are 2 websites that you can use to see how many times a defect, that's what they call a pothole, a defect, how many times that defect has been reported. And if it's been reported before you hit it, you will have a case against the council. Yeah. Because they've been told about the pothole, they know, they've been made aware of it, and if you've hit it after they've been told, you can easily say, well, you were made aware, and you are liable for the damage caused to my vehicle.
Scott, thanks so much. That's Scott Dixon there, a motoring disputes expert.